to the next point. We should ensure whatever we say is clear.
That means work is being done. We can see that it is in opposite direction.
Hello, my dear students at home. I am your commerce teacher by name Abbas Shehu. Today we are going to take a look at a topic which is known as trade associations and other enterprises. This is a topic we intend to cover with you as far as today is concerned, as far as this class is concerned. Now, under this topic, we intend to look at the following areas. One, meaning of trade association, objectives and functions. Two, we'll look at meaning of Chamber of Commerce, objectives and functions. Then we'll look at differences between Chamber of Commerce and trade association. And lastly, we'll look at functions of meaning and functions of manufacturing association. These are the areas we intend to cover with you before we finally round up by summarizing what we have, or what we will see. Now, the first one, which is the meaning of trade association. Trade association. It is an association of traders or producers engaged in the same line of trade. Engaged in the same line of trade, whose major aim is to protect and safeguard the interests of their members as well as their business. Say it again. Trade association is an association of traders or producers engaged in the same line of trade, whose major aim is to protect and safeguard the interests of their members as well as their businesses. It is a group of firms in the same trade, people that are engaged in the same line of trade, come together to form an association in order to promote their own interests, in order to promote their businesses. We call this type of grouping as trade association. It is financed through subscription paid by members. Members of trade associations are usually required to pay subscription. And the money collected as subscription is used in terms of running the organization or the association. Now, examples of trade association are Gari Sellers Association, Market Women Association, Tailors Association, Spare Part Dealers Association, so on and so forth. Now, it's important to note that when we're talking about trade association, we're talking about not only those that are engaged in selling goods, but also those that are engaged in buying and selling of services. Like we have in the film production. We can have producers association, we can have film producers association, film directors association, so on and so forth. Now, having talked about what we mean by trade association, the next thing we shall be looking at is the objectives of trade association. Objectives of trade association, and there are several of them. Number one, to ensure that members provide quality services. Trade associations are formed in order to ensure that members of that particular trade provide quality goods, quality service to their customers. That's one objective. Number two, to ensure that members charge uniform price. That uniform price is given. Not giving this price indiscriminately. No, they sit together, agreed on the price to charge for their goods, for their services, So one of the objectives is to make sure that they charge uniform price. Number 3, to maintain professional ethics of their line of trade, because every trade has its own ethics, professional ethics. So these associations are formed in order to ensure that the professional ethics, code of conduct are abided by members. Number 4, to supply members with information pertaining their trade. It serves as an avenue where members are informed about what is happening pertaining to their line of business, pertaining to their trade. Number 5, to create uniformity in the way their members deal with the public. To create uniformity in the way their members relate with the public, so that there won't be different kind of relationship in terms of the public. Number 6, to promote trade in a particular line of trade. To promote trade in a particular line of trade. Like we have given, when we are setting examples, we give examples of Tailors Association. So if you have a kind of association of that nature, the tailors are there in order to promote their kind of trade, which is tailoring. So also other different types of trades. Number 7, to act as pressure groups in order to influence some government policies. They act as pressure groups to influence government decisions, to make government implement or formulate certain policies that will be for their own interest, that will be for the interest not only of members, but for the interest of the country as a whole. Number 8, the last one we have here, to defend and advance the interest of their members. They defend the interest of their members. They equally advance the interest of their members. These are the objectives of trade association. Now let's go to the functions of trade association. Functions of trade association. Number 1, they settle dispute among their members. They settle dispute among their members. Mind you, anytime you have people coming from different backgrounds, there is the likelihood that disputes arise here and there. Disputes may arise from here and there. So they settle the disputes within their members. That's number 1. 2, they negotiate. They negotiate with other trade associations on collective basis. They sit down to negotiate with other trade associations so as to decide on a particular subject matter, to arrive at a particular decision that affects them as a whole. Number 3, they draw up standards for the practice of their trade. They bring out standards that will govern their activities, that will make them to practice professionally. Number 4, they carry out research and publish the report for their members. They carry out research on different fields pertaining to their interests, and at the same time publish the report of the research to their members for their members to know and then find ways by which they can improve. Number 5, they educate their members on trade activities and other things. Number 6, they provide credit facilities and assistance to their members. This is very important. They provide financial assistance to their members in terms of giving them credit, at the same time financial assistance when the needs arise. Number 7, they put political pressure on government for the interest of their members. Just like when we were talking about the objectives, we mentioned something like this. It also falls under functions. Number 8, the last one we have here, they disseminate information to their members. They pass information to their members pertaining to what they are doing, pertaining to their line of trade, so on and so forth. And that's talking about trade association. We now go to look at what we mean by Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce is association of merchants, manufacturers, and businessmen from different commercial fields or various line of businesses who agree to come together in a town or city with the aim of representing and protecting their business interests. This is a group of merchants. When we talk about merchants, we're talking about big traders, manufacturers, and other businessmen. So it is a big organization. It is a big association that agree to come together. These people, or these categories of people, come together to form an association in the name of Chamber of Commerce to promote the interest of their business. Examples of Chamber of Commerce include Kaduna State Chamber of Commerce, Lagos State Chamber of Commerce, Warri Chamber of Commerce, so on and so forth. Now, having talked about what Chamber of Commerce is, we go to the objectives of Chambers of Commerce. Number one, it is formed in order to promote commercial activities. The Chamber of Commerce is formed in order to promote commercial activities. Number two, liaising with other Chambers of Commerce in relation to their business interests. So each Chamber of Commerce in a particular state can liaise with other Chambers of Commerce that are across the globe, across the state, in order to liaise, in order to promote the interest of their business, in order to promote their main interests. Number three, influencing the policy of government relating to commercial activities. They influence the policy of government that has to do with their commercial activities for their own good, for the good of everybody. And number four, furthering business interests of the area. That's talking about the objectives of Chamber of Commerce. Now, how we talk about the objectives, we now go to functions. Functions of Chamber of Commerce. Number one, organizing trade fairs and exhibition. Chamber of Commerce organize trade fairs and trade exhibitions. Number two, promoting home and foreign trade. Because by the time they are organizing trade fairs, producers of different goods and services are brought from within the country as well as from other countries, thereby promoting home and foreign trade. Number three, operating with other chambers of commerce. They also, just like a function, and just like in terms of their objectives, they also cooperate with other chambers of commerce, because each state has its own chamber of commerce. So they work together to promote their activities. Number four, collecting and disseminating information to members. They collect and also pass information to their members pertaining to their activities, pertaining to their commercial activities. Number five, settling dispute among members. Just like trade association, they equally settle dispute among their members. Number six, acting as watchdogs in the administration of government laws. They act as watchdogs when it comes to the administration of government laws. Number seven, educating their members on government legislation. Certain laws that are passed by the government, they educate their members so as their members to become fully aware and at the same time obey such laws. Number eight, the last one we have here, educating members on conditions of trade and industry. They educate their members on conditions of trade and industry. Now that's talking about chambers of commerce. Before we round up talking about chambers of commerce, let's look at differences between chamber of commerce and trade association. Differences between chamber of commerce and trade association. Differences between chamber of commerce and trade association. Number one, chamber of commerce. In terms of chamber of commerce, It is not restricted to a particular line of trade. Members come from different line of trades. But when it comes to trade association, it is restricted to one line of trade. Members are engaging in one line of trade. Difference number two, in terms of commerce, in terms of Chamber of Commerce, it has national and international outlook. National and international outlook. But when it comes to the issue of trade association, it is regionally based. It is regionally based. Sometimes it can even be locally based. Locally based. That's just talking about the differences between the two. Now, having talked about the differences between the two, we now go to the next item, which is manufacturing association. Manufacturing association. We have talked about trade association, Chamber of Commerce. Now we are going to talk about manufacturing association. What is manufacturing association? Manufacturing association is an association of business executives or entrepreneurs in a city, town, or country that have common interest in the manufacturing of goods and other commodities. Their own is mainly production or manufacturing. And that's why they're even called manufacturing association. They are into conversion of raw materials to finished goods. And we have an example of manufacturing association is, in Nigeria we have what is known as Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, abbreviated as MAN. Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, known as MAN. Now we go to functions of manufacturing association. One, it provides for manufacturers the means of formulating and influencing policies on industrial matters. That is, it acts as pressure groups to the government. Number two, it encourages manufacturers to contribute towards the management of the national economy by being presented on all organizations whose work affects the interest of manufacturers. Number three, it encourages high standard of quality of members' products. High quality of members' products through the collection and circulation of useful information to members. Collection and circulation of useful information to members. Number four, it gives advice on the use of products as well as on the safety and precaution on the use of the products. It provides advice to customers, to consumers of their goods on how the products are to be used. What are the uses of the product? What are the safety measures to be taken? What are the precautionary measures to be taken in terms of using such goods so that consumers or customers may not fall into any kind of problem? Number five, it establishes effective communication channels. Effective communication channels with other similar bodies in order to attain the objectives of the organization. In other words, it means it works with other organizations or associations that are having like minds so as to achieve their objectives. Number six, it finances research into the development of raw materials and production techniques because they are into production. So they carry out or organize research aimed at finding out how raw materials can be improved, how their production techniques can be improved. Then the last one we have here is the equally settle dispute among their members. They settle dispute among their members. Now, that's just about what we have been talking about, what we have for you as far as this class is concerned. We have talked about majorly 3 different things. The first one we talk about is meaning of trade association. Meaning of trade association. Then we talk about objectives of trade association as well as functions of trade association. Now, having talked about that one, we equally move to talk about Chamber of Commerce. And this is the same. Meaning, we define what Chamber of Commerce is. We look at the objectives of Chamber of Commerce as well as their functions. We equally look at the differences between Chamber of Commerce and then trade association. Finally, we talk about manufacturing association. We talk about what it means, and at the same time talk about the functions of manufacturing association. Now, before we go, it's important for us as usual to test you and understand whether you are getting what we are saying or not. To find out whether you are following what we are saying or not. And as usual, we normally give you assignment. And the assignment I intend to give you today comprises of only 3 questions. Only 3 questions. Question number 1 says, explain 5 functions of trade association. You are expected to explain them. Number 2, describe any 5 functions of manufacturing association. Number 3, A, what is Chamber of Commerce? B, mention any 5 functions of Chambers of Commerce. I will repeat the assignment. Number 1, explain 5 functions of trade association. Number 2, describe any 5 functions of manufacturing association. Number 3A, what is Chamber of Commerce? What is Chamber of Commerce? B, mention any 5 functions of Chamber of Commerce. Mention any 5 functions of Chamber of Commerce. You can contact the following materials for your further studies. Number 1, Essential Commerce for Senior Secondary Schools. Essential Commerce for Senior Secondary Schools by O.A. Longi. Number 2, Comprehensive Commerce for Senior Secondary Schools by J.U. Anyele. Comprehensive Commerce for Senior Secondary Schools by J.U. Anyele. And for your submission of your assignment, as usual, you can reach me via SMS using this number. Abbas Shehu is the name. And the number is 081 00 508. Again, 081 00 508. Stay safe. Keep learning. Have a wonderful time. See you in our next class.